Nerd Room Public Access Television, home of Boomer the Nerd, presents. Let's take to the grid and talk about one of my favorite film series, Tron. It's geeking time. Welcome back. This is something that I didn't actually think I was going to end up doing, but I thought to myself, I keep telling you guys I'm packing stuff away, and I see some stuff and I'm like, oh my god, I should totally talk about this. Today I wanted to do a video, one of those impromptu videos that I like to do often. Today we're doing an impromptu Tron video. Basically today what I'm going to be doing is going over the first and second film that I have in my collection, amongst with 4 other things that I have. I wish I had more stuff of Tron in my collection, but I only have about 6 items. Yeah. I love this series so much. Well, series. I mean, technically series because there are some video games. There was a couple of TV shows. And yeah, I've never really made a sole video on this. And I feel like Tron, the first movie at least, is an underrated classic, and Tron Legacy gets so much crap from critics. And I'm not gonna lie that yes, some of the CG in Tron Legacy doesn't hold up that well, but I personally adored the movie. Don't hate me on that one, but I think Tron and Tron Legacy are 2 of the greatest science fiction films ever made. I've always said that. People know this. I introduced my wife to Tron, and after she watched Tron, she was like, whoa, that was really cool. Mind you, by today's standards, the original Tron, the graphics are very primitive. But when you take a look at Tron, the original movie, for what they did in that time frame with those graphics, those special effects, that was mind-blowing at that time. To the point that even Daft Punk was like, wow, that movie blew their mind. And that movie alone inspired them to the point where they were even in Tron Legacy. Now, Tron was released in, I believe, 1982. Let me grab this 2 seconds here. I believe this was 1982 Tron. So, yeah. I could be wrong. Correct me down below. But I'm looking, and it doesn't really say anything. But if I'm not mistaken, it was either 1981 or 1982. Of course, my clock is going off, like it always does, but I'm not going to stop. So, Tron was released in the early 80s, I can tell you that right now. For the longest time, it was kind of considered a cult classic, okay? A lot of people did like the movie, so it was considered more of a cult classic. There was always talks of a sequel, but a sequel was never really made up until 2011 when Tron Legacy came out. There was a video game in the early 2000s called Tron 2.0, which was for the computer. Really fun game. It technically was a sequel spiritually to Tron, but in video game formats. I remember seeing a lot of figures being released from Tron 2.0. I don't remember which toy company it was, but there was a lot of figures though. And so a lot of people wanted a sequel, and that's when Tron Legacy came out. So, that's a little bit of the history on Tron. After Tron Legacy was released, you had Jeff Bridges in the original film, and then you had Jeff Bridges reprise his role in Tron Legacy, which is really, really dang cool. The fact that he played in the original film and he was back for the sequel almost 30 years later. So that was really neat. Actually, it was almost 30 years? Yeah, about almost 30 years later, which is crazy to think about right now. So, okay, then there was a bunch of TV shows. I think there was a Tron TV series on Disney called Tron Uprising, which jumped off of Heritage, just saying the French name, off of Legacy. And then there was a bunch of other video games and figures. I remember when Tron Legacy was released, Marvel Comics were also doing some variant covers in honor of the movie itself. But now it's to the point where we've been in limbo for the past 12 years because Tron Legacy, even though it was panned by critics, there was a lot of people that did go see it. It did technically do well at the box office. And there's been a lot of spin-off series and video games. So we're still in that limbo. I keep hearing talks about a 3rd movie, which I don't know if that's ever going to happen or not. I would love to see a 3rd Tron film because I think this is one of the most underrated film series ever made. And I just love this film series. So that's a little bit about, okay, now that's the back history, a little bit about Tron. And with that being said, let me get into this showing off, reviewing these DVDs and Blu-rays amongst the 4 other stuff that I have. Yeah, I wiped the slate clean. Tron, the original classic, special edition DVD, which features Tron on the cover, played by Bruce Boxleitner. I don't really remember anything after that he was in. I know he's in an episode of Tales from the Crypt, but chapeau as they say in French. There's your read-up on the back. This was released, I believe, in 2011 to coincide with Tron Legacy, and there's 2 discs. There's there's special features on both discs, which is really great. You can like read all those special features. Now I have this on DVD because when I was looking for it, there's the actually there we go. Here's the discs, the Tron Classic. When I was actually looking for this film, I saw it everywhere on DVD, and I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna wait, see if I can find it on Blu-ray. I've been waiting this long, so might as well wait a little longer. And I could never find it on Blu-ray. I looked for, I think, maybe 2 years. So finally, I just bit the bullet. I was like, I'll buy it on DVD, whatever. 2 months later, Walmart has it on Blu-ray for $10. And I was like, oh my God, I'm not just going to buy it on Blu-ray. I already have it on DVD. There's no point. So then I realized to myself, you know what? Maybe I will. I'll just go back. A week after seeing it on Blu-ray at Walmart, I went back. There was none left. Whatever. I'm happy with the DVD. It doesn't really matter too much to me because basically, they didn't really enhance this or that too much. So I don't mind having the original film on DVD. Honestly, the graphics look the way they look, so it's not really... Blu-ray high def is not really going to fix all that up. This, however, is worth having on Blu-ray. This was released before 4K was released, and I don't know if there's a 4K release of it now. I'm probably not going to jump on that because I'm happy with this version. This is Tron Legacy, as you saw before. And this is a cool set as well. There's 2 discs as well in here. You can see all those special features. And then, I know, really small, really small, but there's a read-up of the film. Some cool shots and everything. This film here, I should say, the Tron, the original, is about an hour and a half, an hour and 35 minutes. This one right here is about 2 hours and 5 minutes. I do like the fact that they kept almost like the original poster. They should have done that on the original classic. They should, like, see right here on the side? They should have had that on the DVD case, but I digress. And you open it up, and it's just this. It's right here. It's the discs, the light discs. So that's really cool. What I will say is that I prefer the costumes better in the original Tron, with their outfits. However, in Tron Legacy, I mean, I know it's done more to be a little bit on the darker side. However, they do keep the light cycles pretty much looking the same. Like if you see the light cycles here, compared to, I don't know if there's you can somewhat see it, but the light cycles are kind of like on the similar side if you look at them. So they didn't change up the light cycles too much. So for me, that was pretty cool that they stayed faithful to that. If you've never seen Tron or Tron Legacy, I highly recommend it. I know you're probably going to watch Tron Legacy, especially if you're younger. You're probably going to be like, oh my God, what is this film? But honestly, these are some really awesome movies. Trust me, if Boomer's suggesting them, if I'm suggesting them, right, like I'm telling you right now, if I'm suggesting them, it's worth watching. All right, then I've got the soundtrack for Tron Legacy. This is music by Daft Punk. There's all the tracks on the soundtrack. This is a really awesome soundtrack. I love this a lot. You got the light disc right there, and the CD itself as well is a light disc. So it's really freaking cool looking. And it comes with a pretty long booklet, just with some read-ups there. A lot of notes in this booklet, which is really awesome. A lot of photos. Like that. There you go, Daft Punk in the film. You got some more there. More photos. There you go. That too, they kept almost the same from the original film as well. You got some help from the London Orchestra in the soundtrack as well. There's Rinsler walking to the grid. Watch the film. Guys, I tell you right now, watch the film. It's really awesome. It's an upside down shot, which is really neat. And then finally, you got Rinsler on the light cycle. Oh, and there you go. You got Sam walking away. So there we go. There's the soundtrack to Tron Legacy. I recommend it. It's a really awesome soundtrack. And now the final thing to show off in my collection. I wish I had more. I wish I had some video games. I wish I had some of the older collectibles to show you, but after a certain time and frame in my life, I had to rebuild my collection. So these collectibles, however, are really awesome. I've shown them off before on my channel. I also felt the need to want to show them again. So first things first, let's see if I can get it all in camera. Oh, maybe not. I might have to move my camera up a bit. So first thing first, we got the villain from the first Tron film. We've got Sark. I gotta move these out of the way. Sorry, films. We got the villain Sark from the first film. This thing is really cool. He comes with interchangeable hands, interchangeable light discs. The detailing on this guy is really, really nice, like, to be honest with you. The detailing is really good. And this is from Diamond Select. So that's really cool. I love these figures a lot. Is he gonna fall down? No, is he gonna stay? Come on, please stay. There we go. Then I've got Tron himself, the main character from the film series. He as well comes with 4 interchangeable hands and a bunch of different light discs. And he too can't really, there we go, I'll move the camera a bit. His likeness too looks really good. Looks accurate to Tron in the film. So yeah, so far, love these figures. Love them a lot. And the final one is my favorite character from Tron. Even in Tron Legacy, plays the same character. We've got Flynn, who is played by Jeff Bridges. You're gonna have to bring my camera out again. Again, interchangeable hands down here. Oh, and they all have stands. I forgot to mention that. He comes with 2 interchangeable light discs with one bouncing off here. Let me just, there we go. So he looks a lot like Jeff Bridges too. The likeness is really, in my opinion, uncanny. So good looking figure. And like I said, these are done by Diamond Select. I think these are some really highly underrated figures that were released by Diamond Select. I think they were planning on doing more of them, but they just got around to doing these 3 plus one of the plus another thing. I'm not sure if it was a light cycle or what it was, but I remember just having these 3 characters. And I pre-ordered them off of Amazon, I would say 4 or 5 years ago. And when they came in, I was super happy. And these things here, there are some figures that, you want to contemplate taking out of the packaging, but I don't know, with everything, the way that these figures look, they're just so cool looking. I think that keeping them in the packaging, displaying them would be really cool, but I don't know, there's something about keeping them in the packaging that looks just so really, really nice about these figures. All right, so that's it. We'll bring back everything in. Here's the soundtrack, and here's Tron Legacy. Okay. And there's the original Tron film. Let me know down below if you guys have ever seen Tron, if you've ever seen Tron Legacy, if you ever played any of the video games, if you've watched any of the TV series, what your thoughts on Tron is. Let me know down below. Like I said, this is one of my absolute favorite film series of all time. I love this film series. It's one of those things that I can talk about, and every so often I pop in the films and watch them, because the older I get, the more and more I love them, and the more and more I appreciate them. It's highly underrated, and I feel like so many people should watch this film series. Let me know down below what your thoughts on Tron is.
Time magazine calls it a vision of the movie's future, sights that no eye, no camera has ever before beheld. UPI finds it utterly new, vividly exciting, a trip and a half. Newsweek describes it as somewhere you've never been, a brave new world set inside a computer. No movie has ever looked like this before. Omni calls it an imaginative, spectacular film. Tron, rated PG.
Now playing at Man's Chinese, Hollywood, Man's Westwood, and other selected theaters.
I'm gonna do something a little different. We started with the 2 films we're going to end with the action figures on the way out. Thank you so much, guys, for sticking around and watching the video if you did. I really, truly appreciate each and every one of you guys. I appreciate you guys sticking around watching my videos. I appreciate you guys subscribing and continuing to support my little tiny channel. Guys, you are really awesome. This community in YouTube, the community of people that I've met while making videos, you guys are all great people. It's really awesome to know all you guys. There's one thing I will say though. I have a free comic book day video coming up. So I filmed that on Free Comic Book Day. After that video is uploaded, I'm going to take a little bit of a hiatus. So I'll probably be back during the summertime or a little bit after, towards the end of summer. Got some stuff going on that we need to take care of, so that's the reason why I'm taking a little bit of hiatus. I've been back on a constant schedule since December, putting up 2 videos per week. So I need to take a little bit of a break, but when I do come back, I'll have a lot more content, a lot more cool content for you guys. So so that being said, I'll have a massive comic book haul for you guys when I do come back. All right, enough talking. Please and thank you. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I got some brand new content out. Do yourselves a favor. Go watch the Tron films if you haven't. And if you have, let me know what you guys think about them. Thank you so much to all you guys out there. And as always, it's cool if it's nerd cool. Laters!